is that? One grain of sand is all that remains of my vast empire. Fantasia has totally disappeared. Yes. No, everything's been in vain. No, it hasn't. Fantasia can arise in you. In your dreams and wishes, Bastian. How? Open your head. What are you going to wish for? I don't know. And there will be no Fantasia anymore. How many wishes do I get? As many as you want. And the more wishes you make, the more magnificent Fantasia will become. Really? Try it. My first wish is
Thank you for watching and have a great day.
Bearish trader. Here's the story of a bearish trader who was selling into every single bounce. All his orders hit the bid, such a sucker. Sometimes you buy the dip. It's the story of a bullish trader who was buying each down tick he saw. He averaged down and rarely stopped out on the edge of blowing up. Until one day they subscribed to Routine Trader and realized they can do both buy and sell. That there are two sides to Mr. Market, and beating him both ways is pretty swell. Yeah, pretty swell, so very swell. Beating Mr. Market both ways is pretty swell.
Well, cheers to hope for more volatility, retail trading team. This is Mastro coming to you live from Puppet Show Central with your routine briefing. Cheers, of course, to the excellent production quality of our little intro song there. Just gets better and better every day, and it's almost as beautiful as the current tape action of the market. So we'll clean that up as time goes on. I have to hire a video editor of some sort. Ooh, what's going on there? To get that all pretty for you. But until then, that's how you know we're about to start. So speaking of starting, we're going to just go ahead and jump right into the briefing today. Make sure my scene's transitioning and all that goodness. And yeah, we're going to jump right in. Maybe. Second. Like I'm not showing up in the top right, so if any of you are software engineers for OBS Studio, I'm very curious why the software is suddenly so glitchy. So just go ahead and pop into the chat. That'd be really interesting. So I think we're good there. I got it all set up, and we're going to now jump in. So starting with something that I'm gonna begin integrating into these warm-ups, which is just going to be a brief little macro data summary. So I have talked about the Tier 1 Alpha newsletter before. I subscribe to two newsletters. The first is Adam Mancini's Trading Companion. That is a paid newsletter. I think if you're listening to me, you don't really need that because I kind of integrate that into what I'm doing here. But that Tier 1 Alpha newsletter is super helpful, I think, and it's free. And that really gives you a good data overview for those of you, especially in the 0DT option space. It's really helpful with kind of seeing where the main gamma levels are, where those magnets, as some might say, are sitting. And so I'm not really going to talk about that stuff, but if you're interested, you can go ahead and subscribe to that. I'll keep mentioning it as time goes on. I'm not affiliated in any way. I just think that it's the best free newsletter you're going to get for a little space that we're in. So just before we begin analyzing the warm-up itself here, I just want to cover a few points. So yesterday, I was surprised to learn this, but we had the tightest range of the year in yesterday's tape. And we're trying to beat that so far today. We'll see what happens. Just unbelievable complacency and just complete lack of volatility that is reflected by what you're seeing in the tape. Ostensibly leading up to CPI, everyone's saying that might be a catalyst. Well, we had that all last week. Plenty of potential catalysts and still nothing going on. So we're really entering into the realm of 2017 type tape. So volatility is still a little bit more elevated. So we're not quite there yet. Yet the main difference that I think between 2017 is now is 2017 you did not have that dynamic intraday action. You just had one second here, I'm gonna make sure everything is all set up as we're squeezing for the other time here. All right, sorry. So yeah, so in 2017 you had that just kind of steady move up. So you just basically got long and sat, and that worked pretty fine. Here we just don't move. We just chop one way, chop another, and really chop anyone to pieces who's trying to get involved in the active trading of this market, unless of course you're taking those really small scalps or in the 0DT option space. And for what I'm starting to notice, which is might want to put some of us on crash watch, is you're starting to see a lot more of the rolling type strategies come back into that 0DT option space where nobody has to take any losses because we don't move. So I'm just kind of one of my little sentiment indicators is when you start seeing a lot of people who don't want to take stops, often something big is coming. So I just wanted to cover that real quick. I'm not going to blow over on that too much. We'll just kind of move toward that data aspect that I was talking about. So just a couple things. So the first thing was the NFIB small business report is near the Lehman levels. All that means for people like me who breathe through their mouth and don't really know too much about data is that's already implying that we're in a recession. So something that's also supporting that is if you look at that construction employment and the NAHB Home Builder Sentiment Index, that's down 42% from this time last year, and prospective home buyers are also down 50%. What does that mean? Again, concerns for broader employment in the upcoming months and just kind of signifying that, hey, we might already be in a recession. Is that priced in? I don't know, but just kind of that macro overview. Things are not looking too pretty for the economy as of yet. So again, who knows if that's priced in, who knows if it's not, but I just kind of think it's a cool thing to add to these briefings so we keep a big picture viewpoint, because besides trading in the stock market here, for those of us who love embracing the anhedonia of a day trader lifestyle in this current market, that's one thing, but really looking toward like our actual lives, I think is important too. And so that's just a little macro overview there. So now we'll finally jump to the warm up, which is not really too helpful today. So we again have that net short overnight inventory. We've had a couple down moves, but mostly just dip buying about around, guess what level? Oh, big surprise, 41.30. And we're just seeing no follow through on the bear side, despite elevated volatility in the VIX and VX today. So the VIX was up 4%. Now it's up at about 3.3, and volatility itself is up about 2.2, going down as I look at it here around. We'll look at our little chart there, but again, above that 1920 number, who cares? We're still buying the dip, as you can see in the current tape action. So you see that first 30, that open rejection reverse, just that choppy open, still looking for value. Again, probably buying the dip. We have no volume. We're actually at 388,000 cards, which is, as I was telling my friend Ernie in the chat here, basically like a Thanksgiving market. It's really crazy. I have no idea why the volume is quite this low. Again, people say, oh, we're looking forward to CPI, but it's just been like this for a while now. And we'll have like these glimpses of strong days. Like last week, we had that nice little trend day, but then we just buy the dip. And then we'll have those big squeezes, and then we'll sell back into this range. So all this is done without volume. There's really nobody interested in at least active trading the market right now. So that's just something to watch for when that volume starts to increase with strength. Obviously, you're looking at that relative volume when I talk about volume. So TPO wise, neutral. I just have that as a placeholder. It's that 15-point IBR. Really nothing to speak of going on yet. I will look at that TPO chart as time goes on, but I will update this document throughout the day. If it becomes relevant, it might be like yesterday where I don't have any trades. Today I do have one trade going here. I just kind of forced the entry. So we'll see if Fabio even gets a trade today. But, it's really just looking a lot like yesterday. Really depressing and boring tape like we saw in April. So we'll see what happens. Those levels I'll keep updated as well. But really it's two. You have that demand zone. You have the supply zone. And we're probably just going to ping pong in between. We'll look for stop runs either side. Hope for continuation, but won't hold our breaths. So, yeah, as we continue to rally, we can jump into the actual price action charts, and I'll await the lovely stop out in about 5 points. Probably going to happen. So, yeah, jumping into that macro chart, which means switching screens. Okay. So, macro chart is ugly, very, very ugly like the rest of the market. We had an inside day yesterday. Still kind of, it's not an inside day relative to yesterday, but still inside that big candle from Friday. So you have the Thursday candle swing low, Friday candle swing high. We're just chopping along, hanging out literally on what's now going to start develop into that POC near that where's that on the spy here, about like 41020 area, 4130 ES. Nothing really to speak of. We got that gap below, we got that gap above, but in terms of macro look, all I'm looking at are those gaps. Until something happens around those gaps, the nothing burger of waiting for something interesting remains. So I don't even really want to spend much time on this chart. There's really nothing going on. So if we go to TPO, you're going to see kind of similar nothingness, we'll say. You got that neutral look happening, that extremely tight range, no speed and aggression, no follow through on that speed and aggression. We're just kind of bouncing around the edges, keeping that range nice and tight, and really in the middle of nowhere. So on this chart here, for something significant to happen, either I think a strong buy the dip opportunity once again, or sell the rip, is we got to get up to that 4180, 4100 area. As long as we're in between here, I will be taking trades mechanically, or like I just did a little earlier, forcing them, but really big picture, nothing's going on. We're not moving anywhere. We're just kind of hanging out, biding our time. And that's still reflected in the volatility chart here. So again, I've been saying for days, 2120. What happens around 2120 is just kind of key to trying to crystal ball it, we'll say. And where are we right now? 2120 to 25. So everything's just reflective of nothingness and consolidation and just chopping around, hanging out, waiting for the next potentially big move. So let me check my notes here. I think that's about it. So again, check those levels today, but I really think it's just 4130 to say 4160. Anything in between there is noise. We'll try to take any trades as they come, but it's mainly just kind of waiting for CPI tomorrow. So just go back to the TPO chart, see if there's any levels to speak of. I would say at that 4150 area, we do have that poor high and that naked POC, so potential scalp short trade there. And then to the downside here, it's really you're going to have to play either a knife catch, which, hey, it's been working perfectly around that 4130 area, or you have to maybe try to play that breakdown, which is what I have going on right now. So it's all low confidence, I think. Like I said, that 4150 short is probably the best little scalp opportunity. And then besides that, you're either playing for the breakdown or really not playing at all. And if we do get that breakdown, again, this 4090 really area, I think, might offer a nice dip buying opportunity, and anything that corresponds, of course, to that gap on the macro chart at about 408, a little bit below 408, 407, 80-ish. Let's actually get a specific number there. Buy. So 407.30, 35.30 will be that gap to watch for on the downside. So that's what I got going on. Let's go back to the execution chart and see if I haven't stopped out yet. I have not. So we're just kind of hanging out, IB high, IB low, right in the middle. In fact, let's look at that retracement just for kicks and gigs, as they say. All right, so we're right at about that 38.2 retracement, hanging out. Oh, we're going back down to 50. So very nice, pure chop. We'll see what happens the rest of the day. I think it's just important to watch the levels. So just to flash our warm-up document one more time, I will keep this updated with our levels and that TPO if and when anything else becomes relevant. So I'm going to push the newsletter out right after this. And I will be on Twitter at Routine Trader, always on Twitter at Routine Trader, for any engagement that you wish to supply, as well as in the comment section of this video, or just responding to the newsletter itself. So finally, if you like today's content, especially if you like that little macro portion of these briefings, please give it a like. Helps with the YouTube algorithm. And I just kind of track these to see who's watching, who's engaging with what. Engagement has been going down, which I will at least partially blame on the market. But if you have anything that you'd find more valuable, I'd appreciate that. I'm trying to make these valuable to everyone and not just a diary vlog to myself and to my valued patrons such as Ernie and OJ, who come and hang out in the chat here once in a while. But regardless of if you give it a like, or even if you ever engage with me at all, I do wish you have an excellent rest of your day, and hopefully CPI tomorrow breaks this thing out. We get some dynamism and excitement, and we'll be watching for that tomorrow morning. So it is CPI days are notoriously tough to trade, so definitely keep that wrist tight, look for those traps, and stay classy regardless until we speak again tomorrow.